While the construction of a new high-rise attracts a lot of attention, demolitions can be even more dramatic, especially in large, highly populated cities. So let's have a look at the world's tallest demolition. Number 8. Ocean Tower. Our first tower was built near space on South Padre Island in Texas. X is a brand new Starship facility. It stood 115 meters, 375 feet, tall before collapsing in 2009. The premium condominiums were going to contain a swimming pool, a gym, and even a spa area for occupants to enjoy. However, after 2 years of development, the builders observed cracks forming in the Ocean Tower support columns. It was discovered that the tower's base had sunk over 6 inches. As a result, the building was given the moniker, the Leaning Tower of South Padre. Although the building team hoped to repair it, the damage had already been done. Engineers determined that the remodeling work would be excessively costly and inefficient. In December 2009, a company called Controlled Demolition Incorporated completed a controlled implosion of the structure. The $75 million edifice was the largest concrete construction ever imploded at the time. To guarantee the safety of the island's people, the park near to the Ocean Tower was closed for the day. Nonetheless, people in surrounding hotels and restaurants were able to watch the skyscraper collapse. Number 7. Landmark Tower. The Landmark skyscraper, a 380-foot, 116-meter tall skyscraper in Fort Worth, was also in Texas. When it originally opened to the public in 1957, it was the city's tallest tower. It also had the world's largest spinning digital clock at the top of the structure. The tower was originally entirely occupied, but by the conclusion of its 30-year lifespan, it was completely abandoned. It was devastated by a tornado in March of 2000, causing major damage. The structure was scheduled to be demolished in 2026. The Midwest Wrecking Company evacuated 15 city blocks to complete the implosion, which required slightly over 360 pounds in explosives. It only took a couple of minutes for the iconic tower to collapse. Number 6. AFE Tower stands 106 meters tall. That's 382 feet. This structure was Europe's tallest tower to be dismantled. The tower was part of the Goethe University campus in Frankfurt, Germany. They initially intended to demolish it piece by piece. However, following repeated complaints from residents about the slow procedure, it was decided to demolish the structure using explosives. Their new intentions drew a lot of media attention. In 2014, nearly 30,000 people witnessed the implosion live on site. You understand why. A few seconds later, the concrete skeleton surrounding the building core was brought down with a thunderous thud. 2 bombs on the 5th and 17th floors separated the building core. One section fell to the south, while the other fell to the north. To the chagrin of Goethe University students, the land remained unused for several years before a new residential and hotel tower known as 140 West was completed. The upper levels of the new building housed luxury flats, while the lower floors house hotel rooms. Number 5. Xi'an City Building. The Golden Flower Building, a 118-meter, 387-foot tall structure in Xi'an City, China, was demolished in November 2015. It was the nation's tallest tower to be dismantled. The high-rise structure was erected in 1996, but it had not been used for decades despite being legally owned by Jinhua Pharmaceutical Factory. It appeared too costly to attempt to modify the tower, so China ultimately opted to contract the puncturing explosion business to remove it. To lessen the impact of the explosion, the business began by constructing a 13-foot deep trench around the perimeter. The building collapsed into fragments thanks to 1.4 tons of explosives and 12,000 detonators. While the demolition process was swift, it took more than 70 days to clear all of the 66-foot-high heaps of trash. After the property was cleared, work on a new business complex with retail and residential units began right away. Number 4 is J.L. Hudson's department store, which was built in 1911. One of the most bizarre demolitions in history occurred at the J.L. Hudson department store in Detroit, Michigan. The structure housed everything from retail establishments to office space. When the 134-meter-tall, 440-foot-tall store originally opened to the public, it was the world's tallest department store. J.L. Hudson's department store was demolished in 1998 after more than 80 years of existence, and 20,000 people witnessed the implosion. The bomb was so powerful that it shattered the glass of surrounding abandoned retail businesses. It even accidentally destroyed the Detroit People Mover, a city elevated railway. Since then, work on a 912-foot, 278-meter skyscraper in the vicinity has begun, with an expected completion date of 2022. Brayton Point Power Station is ranked third. Although not exactly a building, the demolition of the Brayton Point Power Plant was spectacular. The coal power station in Somerset, Massachusetts, was built in the 1960s and functioned until May of 2017, when it was shut down. The facility's owner decided to dismantle 2 of the plant's cooling towers in 2019. The explosion set the global record for the tallest cooling towers ever blown up, with each structure towering 500 feet, 152 meters tall. These towers are only a few feet taller than the cooling tower of the Trojan nuclear power plant, which was the first cooling tower ever dismantled in 2006, drawing protesters from all over New England. I went to observe the dismantling of the Brayton Point Power Station live. The crew continued to demolish various components of the power station over the next few months. All of the scrap metal ignited a series of fires days later, adding to the madness of the demolitions. Mena Plaza is ranked second. The Mena Plaza was the highest structure to be demolished despite the fact that construction was never completed. The plaza included 4 different towers that reached 165 meters, 541 feet in the air. The Mena Plaza project began in 2007, but was halted a few years later in 2012 owing to a disagreement with the owners. Despite plans to begin construction in 2014, the building was abandoned due to financial concerns. The authorities in the capital chose to remove the buildings in 2020, not only because they were an eyesore, but also as part of a larger plan to rehabilitate the Mena Zayat port. The demolition team intended to ensure that no one in the United Arab Emirates city of Abu Dhabi was affected by the implosion of the Mena Plaza. It studied the structure and its surroundings to ensure the safest demolition feasible. The towers were brought down with the help of £13,000 worth of plastic explosives. 3 of the buildings were the first to collapse. However, after 10 seconds, all 4 were reduced to massive piles of debris. Number 1, Power Station, Westerholt, Mena Plaza was going to be our number 1. But we didn't want to keep this final demolition from you. It stands 337 meters, or 1,105 feet tall. The power plant west or Holt chimney was the tallest controlled building ever dismantled. There are more mega-tall chimney demolitions that are even taller than the previous 165-meter high Mena Plaza. However, Webster Holt was the highest. When the power station was deactivated in 2005, the chimney was built in 1981 in Germany. The chimney met its untimely end. A year later, the structure was blown up on 2 different levels, one at the bottom and one in the middle. There were so many people there to see the explosion and take pictures that the demolition team was unable to finish on time. The chimney was soon reduced to a massive pile of debris. Let us know in the comments box below, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.